Hey, hi again everybody. Nice to see you again. I just did a webinar this morning. It was really long. It went 90 minutes and it was my first time of ever doing something. And you know, when you do something at the very beginning, you're a beginner. Little baby steps. I actually did one, I didn't just tell the truth. I did one webinar before on money and it was a little more interactive. People called in and spoke when we did it together, and we had a full line, and I also showed slides and did a webinar. But this is the first time with this little bit of a difference where all I was doing was lecturing. Okay, I've gotten some fun feedback and from the videos and questions, and I wanted to touch in a little on some of what I went over today. I really covered a lot of ground. It's extremely simple in some ways, but very deep penetration in these areas that I've talked about. I've already mentioned before, if you haven't seen the first two videos, even if you have, hearing this again, this amazing repetition of what could be involved can be more powerful than you know. So here's what we've got. 3 areas that fuel the drive to overeat, obsess about food, try to be perfect, think that you should be exercising, get all twisted up in knots around all this stuff, this whole food thing. A sense of powerlessness, feeling empty, emotionally empty, physically empty, having fear of that, and fear of fear itself. So I've talked at quite a bit of length around all those 3 things and what those 3 things are and how you can identify what your deepest thoughts are when you're feeling any of those things, powerless, empty, or afraid. And here's what I want to give you today. This is going to be very simple. In the Tao, it talks about that there are 3 treasures that everyone has, and only 3 treasures really that you need. Simplicity, patience, and compassion. Well, what a lot of overeaters or undereaters or people obsessed or disordered or whatever you want to call it do with those 3 things, or even with that information, is they'll say, oh my gosh, I better be simple. I better be compassionate. I better be patient. And they try to jump all the way across the Grand Canyon to Mother Teresa, or I'm going to be like Byron Katie herself, or I'm going to be like an angel. At least I speak from personal experience. But you have your image instantly in your mind of how you should be. I should be in the vortex all the time. I should listen to Abraham Hicks and be positive, thinking positively and purely at every single moment. Well, that's freaking impossible. Haven't you noticed? Especially when it comes to food and eating, it's kind of giving you a special message. There you are going about your daily business and you feel overwhelmed with the urge to eat, throw away all your plans, skip the party, skip the gathering that you're going to go on that night, but skip class, and throw it all away, even if it's something that you want to do, and start eating instead, or binging, or going through a whole routine where you kind of completely lose track of time. Well, the place to apply simplicity, patience, and compassion is to that particular time. That kind of moment, those kinds of feelings, the worst feelings, rage, terror, enormous grief, the things that have happened to you, the trauma. Be patient with yourself, being that imperfect, full of feeling, dramatic person that is so anxious or so nervous or so unhappy with empty space or memories or words or images floating through your mind, or nervousness about rejection and relationships from other people. You're just so upset about it that you wind up wanting to eat instead of face those. You just don't know what to do about them. That's very, very normal, and that's the place where you need to have compassion. So don't get mixed up on that. Be simple with being simply like a toddler. 3 years old, having a hissy fit on the floor and wanting food now. If you're patient with yourself in that area, even if you find the tiniest drop of patience around your own sense of powerlessness, your own emptiness, if you can wait 1 minute and sit with emptiness, if you can go ahead and express the anger or rage or fear or sadness that you feel and not criticize or condemn yourself over it, you will begin to feel the energy of what it is to ride a wave of something and be as you are, a perfectly imperfect human being who actually has a lot of feelings and is a jerk sometimes and is lost and afraid. Part of the human race. Welcome to the human race. You can be patient with yourself and not trying to strive so hard for all these very difficult ideals, including thinness. So patience, simplicity, and compassion. Patience, simplicity, and compassion. Compassion for yourself being just the most ridiculous, rude, mean, bossy person who's all critical and messed up. Patience and simplicity with yourself. So that's what I want to share today. Don't jump over all the way as far as you can to some other flip opposite place. Be with yourself as you are now. I know that's what they all say. I know that's what the teachings all be as you are now, blah, blah, and you'll get all upset if you feel angry. But that's only if you're fighting being an angry person. So just if you let yourself express what you want to express in your feelings, food will become much less interesting and much less necessary. Believe me, I've experienced it myself. I can hardly believe that I don't ever feel like overeating. Day after day after day, week after week, year after year. Okay, so that's my tip for today. If you are interested in watching the long webinar where I shared a few other very simple and kind of short exercises or tools you can use that I've developed over time. I just have my little names for them by collecting things that worked for me from many, many wise people. Then go to my Eating Peace page. By tomorrow, I'll have the link up there and you can join in and watch and listen. And I'd love feedback on it. Too slow, too fast. I would like more in this area, less in this other area. This was helpful, this was not. It'd be super helpful to have me be a better delivery device of freedom around compulsive eating. Because that's what I want for this world. I love having the joy in this. And I think the more people that find freedom and total liberation from obsessing about food, wow. Welcome to a peaceful planet. Okay, you can have that too. You deserve it. You're worth it. Take good care. Lots of love, everybody. Bye-bye.